Have you ever met someone who hides greatness behind silence? Someone so ordinary that you'd never guess what they were truly capable of. This story isn't about fame, glory, or medals. It's about a woman who once stood in the background, unnoticed, until one question changed everything. She was quietly cleaning guns when a sniper asked if she could hit a target at 4,000 meters, and what happened next left the entire base in stunned silence. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Grow for Justice, because we bring you real, emotional, and powerful stories of courage, truth, and transformation. And as you watch, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing our family from all around the world. Now, let's begin. It was a dusty afternoon at a remote military outpost somewhere along the Afghan border. The sun hung low, casting golden streaks across the desert sand. Inside a makeshift armory, Corporal Lena Matthews worked quietly, cleaning rifles laid out in perfect alignment on a metal table. She moved with precision, slow, steady, deliberate. Her sleeves rolled up, her hair tied back, her focus absolute. She wasn't a sniper. Not officially. Her role was logistics and maintenance. She made sure every weapon that left that tent fired flawlessly. Soldiers called her Gear Girl, half in jest, half in respect. But what most didn't know, what even her commanding officer didn't realize, was that Lena wasn't just good with weapons. She understood them. Every piece, every groove, every vibration. She'd grown up the daughter of a gunsmith and had been firing long-range rifles since she was 12 at that day. As she reassembled an M2010 enhanced sniper rifle, Sergeant Cole Hawk Riker stepped into the tent. He was a legend among his men, one of the best snipers in the battalion, a man whose calm under fire was almost eerie. He watched Lena for a moment, impressed by her precision. "You handle that thing better than half my team," he said with a smirk. Lena didn't look up. "It's just metal and math," she replied. Hawk chuckled. "Metal and math, huh? You ever fire one of these beauties?" "Once or twice," she said softly. "Yeah," he asked, teasing. "You think you could hit a target at 4,000 meters?" She finally looked up, her eyes steady and unblinking. "What's the wind like?" He grinned. "You're serious?" "Depends," she said. "Are you asking or challenging me?" The words hung in the air, heavy with quiet tension. Outside, a few soldiers overheard and peeked in, curious. A 4,000-meter shot was nearly impossible. Even elite snipers struggled beyond 2,500. It was the kind of range that tested the limits of both skill and sanity. Hawk decided to call her bluff. "All right, Matthews, let's see what you've got." Within the hour, they were on the range. The desert stretched endlessly ahead. At the far end, a steel silhouette barely visible to the naked eye. The distance? Precisely 4,000 meters. Hawk set up the spotter scope, confident this would end with a laugh. Lena, on the other hand, said nothing. She lay down in the prone position, calm and composed, adjusting the scope like she'd done 1,000 times before. The air was hot and still. Then she spoke. Temperature, 98. Wind east-northeast, 5 knots. Humidity, 21%. Target elevation drop, 1.3 degrees. I'll need 42.7 MOA elevation adjustment and 3.1 wind drift. Hawk's jaw dropped. Those numbers weren't guesses. They were perfect calculations. "You've done this before," he muttered. She didn't answer. Her finger hovered over the trigger. Her breathing slowed. The world went silent. Then, the shot. The rifle cracked like thunder, echoing across the desert. For seconds of silence followed, then a faint metallic ping. The spotter scope lit up. Bullseye! The small group of soldiers erupted in disbelief. Hawk ripped off his headset. "No way. That's impossible." But it wasn't luck. Lena rolled on her back, calm as ever. "Just metal and math," she said again, smiling faintly. Word spread fast. Within hours, the base commander himself came down to see the woman who had hit the impossible shot. She tried to brush it off, but the military doesn't ignore miracles. Within weeks, she was reassigned, not to maintenance, but to sniper school. And there, surrounded by men who doubted her every step, Lena proved that her first shot wasn't a fluke. Her scores shattered records. Her consistency left instructors speechless. She didn't boast, didn't brag. She simply performed. And when one arrogant trainee mocked her, calling her a lucky cleaner girl, she asked him to name his farthest confirmed shot. He said 2,800 meters. She quietly nodded, took his rifle, and hit 500. They never questioned her again. That be why the time she graduated, Lena Matthews had become the first woman in her unit's history to qualify as a long-range marksman at 4,000 meters and beyond. But the recognition never mattered to her. What mattered was purpose, the same purpose that brought her to the battlefield in the first place, to save lives. Months later, in the middle of a live mission deep in mountainous terrain, that skill would be tested in a way no one expected. Her team was pinned down by an enemy sniper nearly 2 miles away. Every attempt to locate him failed, until Lena crawled to the edge of cliff, scanned through her scope, and spotted a glint of glass halfway across the valley. 2,800 meters, Hawk said beside her. Lena adjusted her rifle. 3,900, she corrected that he stared. That's too far. She just breathed out, whispering metal and math. One shot, one echo, one silence, and the mountain went still. When they confirmed the hit, Hawk couldn't speak. He simply reached out his hand and said, "You're the best I've ever seen." Lena smiled faintly. "No," she said. "I just don't miss what I care about." From that day, the soldiers of her unit began calling her Whisper because she didn't need words, ranks, or fame. Her silence spoke louder than anyone's pride. Years later, after she retired, her name quietly appeared in military archives under a single line. Record, longest confirmed precision shot, 4,021 meters. Operator, Matthews, and interviews, no documentaries, no medals on public display. Just a story, passed from one soldier to another. A story about the woman who turned silence into precision and humility into legend. And every time new recruits cleaned their rifles at night, someone would whisper, "You know who used to sit right there?" And they'd all know the name, Whisper, because real heroes don't shout. They aim, breathe, and act. That's the story of Lena Matthews, the quiet genius who did the impossible. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Grow for Justice, where we share true style stories that celebrate courage, truth, and the human spirit. And now tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Canada? Australia? The US? The UK? I'd love to know where the Grow for Justice family is tuning in from. Because no matter where you are, remember, greatness doesn't always make noise. Sometimes it whispers